I contend to you that Twitter is far more harmful to the human mind than any amount of pornography will ever be. Now, if we look at the porn addict and we look at the Twitter addict, who damages the world more? But the porn addict really only damages their own life and the potential lives they could be impacting. The Twitter addict is damaging all the other lunatics like them. I, when I see people begin to start filtering their worldview through Twitter, I see people that are hyper emotional, people led by passion. And in my experience, people who are being led by emotion do not make reasoned and sound decisions. They make deranged decisions because they are being led by emotion. And when you are emotional, you can believe all kinds of crazy stuff. That's why you don't want to make decisions when you are emotional, because you might make a decision that will impact the rest of your life. And that might not be the way you feel the vast majority of your life. That could just be the way you feel for a couple minutes. And then you never feel that way again. But now you got the consequences of it. And this is what I see of Twitter: a machine that is designed to elicit real emotion through fake words, or words where their provenance is dubious at best. At best. And I am deeply suspicious anytime someone is targeting my emotions. Because unless that person is in love with me, they have a nefarious intent for trying to get at my emotions. They are trying to make me accept something, whether that be pro or con. They want me to accept something. And I do not want to be led by emotion. Like, everything about it is the definition of propaganda. Like, I am deeply, deeply suspicious of this. And I will always be told, I know the worldview that you see through Twitter does not match what goes on in the real world. But if you too filter your worldview through Twitter, you will see the secret knowledge that lies within it and how much of the world dances to the tune of Twitter. And I do not see that. Um, in a way, I wish I did, because it's very popular and it puts you in sync with other people. But that is just not what I see, and I can't bring myself to do it. And I've seen people over the past couple years, few years, I guess, go more and more insane with emotion, just glutting themselves on it. And I don't see it doing anything good for the world at large, for America, for me, and the people that don't know any better. Like, I judge people by what they do, not what they say. That is always the basis in my eyes for what someone truly believes. What do you do? That tells me what you believe. If I cannot see what you do, then I hold your words in reserve, because I do not trust people. And I do not trust people enough to take their word for news stories. I do not trust corporations to take their word for news stories. I'll listen to it. I'll take it under advisement, but that does not mean I believe it. And taking these things on faith is extremely dangerous to me because these aren't religious matters. These aren't matters of spirituality. These are about real, tangible, concrete things. And like I see strong similarities in the rise and fall of the neocon movement as in the rise and fall of the woke movement. I hate modern terms, but I have to use it because no one will know what I'm talking about if I use other terms. But I see something very similar. It's, a process that plays out over 25 or 30 years as they grow in power. It starts out with this small group of intellectual thinkers, and they spread their views to people, and it grows in power. They get some converts, some just accept partial of the doctrine, but it spreads. And eventually, it gets to a point where the public starts to backlash against it because it is so out of sync with the actual reality, which is what happened to the neocon movement in the mid 2000s, where all this super pro America stuff that was once so popular after 9/11, none of their actions matched up with it. And the same thing with the woke movement, where they preach all this, we want to stop hate. And it's like, well, all you do is hate people. The public doesn't line up with it, and you're watching it die because of that. And I question how much the culture warriors have had to do with that. And I'm sure they will take credit for it. And but no one needed to be told The Last Jedi sucked. Like, no one needs to be told these things suck because it is self evident. That is what they do. They suck. It's not dying because people are now somehow aware that it sucks and they weren't aware that it sucked before. I, you know, anytime someone's trying to get at your emotions, I would say be suspicious of that person. And that is all I see from Twitter is something that's trying to get at my emotions. Real emotion, fake words. Real emotion, fake words. For what it's worth, I guess.